In the last 5 years, Ubisoft stock has lost 87% of its value. On May 15th, shares fell 20% in a single day. It is now below €10. Over the past 3 years, more than 2,000 employees have been laid off. In the last financial year, the company's revenue decreased by 17.5%. Why has Ubisoft been experiencing financial struggles recently, and can it overcome them? Since 1986, Ubisoft has published hundreds of games across various genres and platforms ubiquitously, as its name suggests. Among these releases, the French company has created numerous beloved IPs, including Rayman, Assassin's Creed, Just Dance, Far Cry, Anno, and The Division. These franchises have sold hundreds of millions of copies, have gained millions of fans, and have made Ubisoft the largest game studio in Europe and one of the largest in the world. However, the company has been facing challenges recently. Their share dropped almost 90% relative to their price 5 years ago. They have to fire thousands of their skilled employees. On top of all that, the financials of the last year were terrible. Why did all of that happen, and what is their rescue plan? Let us dive into this. Although there are chronic and structural problems in Ubisoft's failure over the last 5 years, which we'll discuss later, the recent 20% one-day drop is mainly caused by the poor performances of the latest AAA or quadruple A, whatever that means, titles, namely Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, Skull and Bones, and Star Wars Outlaws. All of these games received mixed reviews from critics and gamers and also couldn't satisfy the sales expectations of shareholders. Getting exact sales figures for these games is tricky, yet it is claimed that in their first months of release, the Avatar game has sold around 2 million, the Star Wars game around 1 million, and the piracy game less than 1 million. Considering their budgets and franchise powers, those numbers must have disappointed Ubisoft. One of the main criticisms of these games, especially the Frontiers of Pandora and the Ubisoft games in general, that their lack of originality. All Ubisoft games feel the same. Doesn't matter whether you are a famous assassin from history, a survivor trying to escape a madman, or a Na'vi, you need to clear the base and unfog the map. Component-based design is an excellent technique in software design that allows designing and using reusable components across multiple projects and provides maintainability and scalability for the software. Nevertheless, overusing it kills the originality and fun of the product, which may not be important for many software applications, but it is crucial for games. In addition, Ubisoft is famous for its technically problematic games. The increased complexity of big-budget games has also increased bugs in all games, and recent games of the company are far better than AC, Unity in terms of smooth experience. Yet, especially PC gamers can sometimes face game-breaking bugs. In the last financial year, with these 3 low-performing games, Ubisoft has also launched a live service game, XDefiant. After 1 year of its release, it was shut down in June. They have tried another live service game before, a battle royale game called Hyperscape, and it was also shut down after a short time. For Ubisoft, live service seems to be more like a brief encounter service. Although their lives were short, these live service games can be considered lucky for being released, as there is a high chance for Ubisoft games to be stuck in development hell. Another lucky game, Skull and Bones, has been able to be released after its 11-year-long development. Unfortunately, not all games share that fortune. After 18 years of development, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in production. Its legendary director, Michel Ancel, began working at Ubisoft as a teenager and retired from the company without finishing the game. His successor, Emile Morel, has passed away during production. The development of the game is continuing with its third director, Fawzi Mesmer. Internal problems of Ubisoft adversely affect not only games, but also employees. More than 3,000 Ubisoft employees lost their jobs in the last 3 years. Although it was a few years ago, and Ubisoft took measures afterwards, claims of an unhealthy work environment can cause low-motivated workers and loss of talent. Moreover, internal problems are not limited to human management. Almost all different IPs of Ubisoft use different game engines. Therefore, there are separate teams for the development of each engine. It can also make it difficult to manage teams since each has a different skill set. Using different engines for different projects does not have to be a bad choice. However, it is certainly an odd choice for a company that receives a complaint about how similar their games are. This is probably one of the important reasons why the company is inefficient. Ubisoft is the lowest earning company in terms of per employee earnings in a year among the largest gaming corporations. The studio makes around $100,000 per employee in a year, whereas Sega makes $300K, Take-Two makes $450K, and EA makes around $500K. When your revenue per employee is this low, even interns start asking questions. In addition to its internal problems, some changes in the gaming industry are also adversely affecting Ubisoft's financials. The main one is the rising costs of AAA games. It is argued that the company spends around $200 million on making Skull and Bones. Of course, as mentioned, Skull and Bones is an outlier with its inefficient development process. On the other hand, it demonstrates how production budgets have skyrocketed. Furthermore, gamers' preferences have leaned towards more hardcore and indie games in recent years. As an example, the successes of Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and Expedition 33 can be given. It is also bad news for Ubisoft, whose games targeted more casual gamers. Finally, the highly saturated gaming market slaps Ubisoft's economy. There are many great studios, and they are making various entertaining games. Competing in these games can drop the sales of Ubisoft's games. As all of us, Ubisoft's management is aware of the situation, and they announced some plans to fix the downward trend. First, they aim to reduce the costs by 100 million euros. Also, they are reorganizing into creative houses to enhance quality, focus, autonomy, and accountability within their development teams. These are the necessary steps taken on the right path. But I think there is more to be done. For example, making games that aim for hardcore gamers, maybe in their smaller IPs, can be profitable. Also, in the long run, simplifying their game engine catalog can increase their efficiency. That's all. In conclusion, as it can be understood from Ubisoft's share value, they have been struggling in the last few years. On top of that, the majority of their recent biggest titles, except AC, Shadows, have underperformed. Yet, they planned a rescue from the situation. Ubisoft has powerful IPs and many experienced, skilled employees, and agreed with Tencent to flow some cash. While the road ahead is undoubtedly challenging, Ubisoft possesses powerful IPs, a vast pool of talent, and a clear strategic direction, giving it a real fighting chance to reclaim its standing. You can consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel.